You pretend that you don't know just what you want to do. Hello, how are you? This story takes place on the Pennine Range. The Pennine Range is a range of moors and mountains that goes all across the top of the north of England. I was brought up all my life on a farm till about 12 years of age. So this story is called Rats to You. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about my father before we start. He was a big man and tough as old boots. When he was 17 years of age, he joined up the military and was in World War One in the trenches. He told me that when he first went into the military, the soldiers lined up with their uniforms on, and the sergeant major gave out Royal Enfield 303s with bayonets on the end. And the instructions he got was kill or be killed. It's up to you. So you could only imagine what kind of man he was. I lived with a killer. One time, I was sitting at the table and tripe had been put on my plate, along with mashed potatoes and peas. Tripe, the inside of a cow's stomach. I put a piece in my mouth and almost choked on it. My father looked at me and he said, "What's the matter with you, lad?" "I don't like this. What is it?" "It's tripe. I don't want to eat it." "You know what your bloody problem is, lad? You're too bloody well fed. Give it here." He took it off my plate and ate the lot and said, "Now bugger off. You'll get fed again at breakfast time, not before." That's what he was like. So here we go. One morning, my dad wasn't around, so I went looking for him. I found him in the small room next to a big old brewer's barrel, and I said, "What are you up to, Dad?"
Nout.
"What's in the barrel?"
Rats.
"Hey, Dad, what are you going to do with rats?"
Watch, and you'll find out.
Just then, I heard squeaking noises and loud banging around in the barrel. He must have been a mind reader, my dad, 'cause right when I was going to reach out and take the lid off the barrel, I heard him say,
And don't take the lid off the barrel. Just wait and watch.
I did. I waited for ages and ages, and Nout appeared. I was thinking of taking the lid off the barrel, but I daren't. So I left and found something else to amuse myself with. That night I couldn't get those rats out of my head. Next morning when I got up, first thing I went into the barn. My dad was looking in the barrel, and when he saw me coming, he put the lid back on. "What's up in barrel, Dad?"
Nout. And keep your nose out of barrel.
"You must be doing summat, Dad."
I'm doing nout. Wait and see.
The barrel was quiet, no noise. I was going to sit on the barrel lid, but I was a bit scared, so instead I grabbed the milking stool and sat there with my elbows on my knees and my head in my hands and watching. All of a sudden, they started squeaking. It made me jump so much, I nearly fell off the stool. I walked around the barrel to see if I could peek through any of the cracks in it, but they were all too narrow. This went on for what seemed weeks to me. Every day I'd go and sit in front of the barrel, and every day they'd squeak. One day I was sitting in front of the barrel, and my dad came into the barn. "Hey, Dad, there's no squeaking coming out the barrel today."
Good. That's what I've been waiting for.
He goes up to the barrel, lifts up the lid, and peeks inside. I said to him, "Why aren't rats squeaking anymore?"
They're all gone, except one.
"Where'd they all gone? They couldn't have gotten out of the barrel," just in case he thought I'd looked inside, and they all got out except one.
You want to look inside the barrel?
Yeah, even though I was a bit more scared by now.
Come over here and be careful.
He lifted the lid on the barrel and shines his torch inside. I looked down into the barrel and it made me jump. My heart was banging away. In the bottom of the barrel, I saw this great, big, fat, brown rat. He was as big as my cat, Meat. He had these big black eyes that were staring at me. My heart was banging even louder now. "Where are all the other rats gone? How did they get out of barrel?"
They didn't get out, boy. That one in there ate 'em all.
"Why did he eat 'em all?"
'Cause he was hungry. He ate the weakest ones first, till they were all gone.
"But why did he do that?"
'Cause now he's tasted rat meat, he likes it, and he won't go and eat me weak old chicks.
Me dad picked up the barrel lid and the barrel, and I followed him into the barn where all the hens were. He took the barrel over to the corner of the barn and said,
Stand back.
I watched him tip the barrel over, and then this big brown rat ran out of the barrel, across the floor, and straight for the light shining under the barn door. Dad, he's running away. What now?"
He'll be back. He's a cannibal rat now. He'll come back and attack all the smaller rats in the barn as soon as he gets hungry.
After that, I looked for him every day, but I never saw him for a long time. One day, I said to my dad, "Hey, Dad, maybe the cannibal rat's run away for good."
No, he's still living around the barn somewhere.
"How do you know he is, Dad?"
'Cause there's hardly any rats living in the barn now, and I haven't seen any half-eaten chicks for weeks.
Well, that's my dad. He voluntarily joined up for the military at 17 years of age, and he survived 3 years of trench warfare in 1914. He had dysentery 3 times. He was mustard gassed twice. He was shot in the arm with a machine gun bullet. One day he told me a story that him and his friend were sitting in the mud in the trenches, and his friend passed him a cigarette. He took the cigarette, he took one puff, and the next second there was an explosion, and his friend's brains were all over my dad's face and crawled out of the trenches. He was one of the lucky ones. And that's what I came out of. More next week. You pretend that you don't know just what you want to do, 'cause it saves you from the pain if you cannot follow through. And freedom is a heavy word you learn to go around, and it keeps you stuck in your small world and pulls you further down.